Hello, everyone, and welcome to Starladder I-League Star Series. This is the NA Qualifiers Phase 2. It's a round-robin, best-of-2 scenario for qualifying points. And this is Game 1 between Doo-Wop and Infamous. I am your caster, VTM, and I am joined by CC&C. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Ready to watch some real anecdotes.
Like half of this isn't even NA Dotes, though. For those of you not privy on, American teams, Infamous is actually Peruvian. It looks like they're all stand-ins. I'm sure that's not the case. I think they probably just didn't set their ticket. But Doo-Wop is mostly NA. I think Yawar is... What's his nationality?
I mean, he's Sumel's brother, so he's from Pakistan.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, he and 747...
Buryu lives in the UK as well.
Okay, so Doo-Wop, barely even NA.
I mean, the rest... I mean, Yor lives in NA.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so, I mean... I'm sure chat's going to be very, very ecstatic with how these games play out. So, Doo-Wop just, what was it, on the 7th is when they officially pulled in Yawar, 747, and Buryu, right?
I'm not sure.
Very recently, though.
I don't know exactly when they did. 747 was scrimming for them after a while, after he left FDL. So he was playing scrims with Doo-Wop back whenever they had whenever Mineski was still on that team, before he was the official stand-in for Onyx. So 747 was standing in for Doo-Wop. He didn't originally plan on joining, but then I think they got Yoar on board as he was in the runnings for some other teams, but decided to play on Doo-Wop. So they've been playing very, very well. They 3-0'd Freedom yesterday, who's a lot of people have considered to be sort of the if you consider the Freedom, all those sort of teams, those teams like Tier 2, then Freedom would be like the top of the Tier 2. Although I don't know if you can call them Tier 2 because then like what are NP and call? So I guess they're like 1.5 or something as far as NA goes.
Yeah.
With EG and DC being Tier 1.
Yes.
But yeah, so Doo-Wop, a very, very strong team. Infamous have just recently lost King Tekka. I think he left for some other team. Not sure why. Maybe some drama there. And also Benjaz, I think, lost his passport in China or something. So he's still traveling back to China now because they were in China for WESG.
Oh my gosh.
So he is just now traveling back, I believe. Either that or he's still stuck in China.
Yeah, it's going to be hard actually knowing who's who, since none of these are their actual names. We'll figure out, I guess.
Yeah, Mania, I believe, is Excel. The Bites Zadusto is Kotaro. Ashavi is Valkyra.
Weaver.
One of Punky or Pero is Stinger. I don't know who the last one is.
That's got to be a stand-in, right? If
I guess
Benja's still...
Yeah, he's a stand-in. I'm trying to figure out who he is, though.
Okay. We will find out. Doo-Wop, though, bringing it heavy with the minus armor, rather. They could do support Weaver. I hope you could tell me about Doo-Wop. I don't personally know too much about them on their playstyles. But they could also do support Slardar. Or these could both be supports if they really wanted them. The other day, we saw Puppy killing it with the support Weaver, so I'm sure he's bringing all of the rage back to that.
Yeah, I don't know who Punky is. I try to figure out. I don't know who it is. Yeah, Doo-Wop typically runs a support Slaughter. They've also picked the Weaver, which they also typically run as support. It's quite often Buryu playing both of those heroes, so maybe Carry Weaver could also be off-lane Slaughter. We'll sort of see, sort of like with last game, a little bit of ambiguity in the draft starting off, but most often they play both of those heroes as a 4, so unless they're running 2 4s, then most probably one of them is a different role.
Well, we will see.
Luna.
So we have the Luna, not with her best friend Shadow Demon, but still going to be bringing the pain. She has been sticking around, man. Luna has been like a staple of Dota for quite some time now. She's the go-to carry. And then with Rubik, he's a bread and butter support. He's good at a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it kind of surprises me that they took him first pick. A typically Rubik a hero that you respond to picks with. So
Mhm.
if you have a lot of push, you want the Rubik for the aura, or if you're versus something like an Underlord, so you could steal it and turn around his D push and get your own massive amounts of D push. Can be good versus the Luna, good versus Shadow Demon Luna, because you can steal the disruption and disrupt back on Luna. It's typically not a hero that you just all around first pick, which is what Infamous did. So a little uncommon there. And then do up with a little bit of the respect ban on the TA. One of Kotaro's best heroes, probably one of the best TAs in NA. Infamous for how good his TA is. So a little bit of a respect ban there.
I wasn't paying attention in the lobby to who decided to choose first or second pick or anything, but there's some schools of thought in drafting where they think that opening pick is weak. You might be able to get something strong, but then it's easily countered. So maybe the Rubik was just a throwaway pick, like, their kind of go-to easy support, and they decided to first pick it just to not really reveal the strategy too early on. But they're responding to all of this minus armor with a hero who can definitely benefit from tons of minus armor. The Lifestealer gonna bring a lot of trouble too, so Infamous just wanting to get rid of that. Can't blame him for that.
Yeah, the ban with the Lifestealer. Taking a little bit of time for these bans, so thinking pretty carefully about it. We'll see what Duop chooses to ban out next.
Reserve time.
And for the
like
viewers,
you said at the beginning.
I was gonna say, for the viewers, if you haven't played in a competitive team or anything, it seems like the picks and the bans, they take a long time. But when you're on the other side of that and you're playing, I've only done amateur stuff, but I'm sure you can attest to it too. When you're on the other side and you're trying to discuss who to grab and stuff, 30 seconds, a minute 20 reserve and stuff, that's actually not very much to really go through potential strategies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Duop is fine with that amount of time, as they do have a lot of smart players on it. Buryu was originally going to be the captain of the original rendition of DC, was for a little bit. Things didn't work out. Clairvoyance has been a very good player in NA for a long time, hasn't really made it that far. 747, arguably the best mid player in NA that's not Sumail. He's extremely good mechanically, very smart. 8.5k, so very good player there. You are Sumail's brother, extremely accomplished. Obviously, Sumail's brother, and another just extremely talented player. Snaking, been in the scene for a very long time and consistently been pretty good, and understands the game very well. All very good at drafting, so I think I would expect Duop to come out of the draft with maybe a little bit of an advantage.
I do like the amount of control that they have now with that disruptor pickup. Luna is a hero that I feel like positioning on her is very key in fights. And if if she pops that Eclipse and tries chasing down your team, you can just glimpse her back before she can really do a lot. And then that Static Storm, it'd be painful to give it up to the Rubik, but it's just so good at controlling fights.
Yeah, just overall a very nice hero. It gives you a lot of roam potential and makes you very strong in lane. So they do have aggressive tri-lane potential if the game looks like it may go that way. We'll see if those three are their safe lane or their aggressive tri-lane, or if they choose to pick another carry and the Weaver's support and the Slaughter's offlane. We'll have to see still. But yeah, Infamous taking the Sven pretty early on. It's kind of unusual. Sven, a hero that's fallen off quite a bit because of the changes to the one camp spawn, HOD changing. Just a lot of things affecting Sven quite a bit. Getting nerfed indirectly in quite a few ways. And, the cleave as well changing, so considerably worse there. And Sven just nerfed all around. So it looks like it will be the offlane Slaughter and support Weaver and the carry Juggernaut.
Sven's been he was grabbed a bunch earlier today too in the EU games. He's just, I don't know why he's had a resurgence, especially considering the patch doesn't really favor him with the jungle nerfs and all that. Everyone's discussed this already. Why Sven isn't the hottest shit. But what's make him worth grabbing? Like, that's putting Luna in the mid, or is that like an off lane? Nope. Yeah, that's a mid Luna. So what's, or maybe a support Sven.
It's probably a support Sven.
I haven't seen that since what, like TI2, TI3?
Yeah, it's run occasionally. The Warcry is very, very nice versus the Slaughter Weaver, obviously. The stun, so nice lockdown versus the Weaver. Not great versus the Juggernaut, as you know, the Sven is unlikely to be getting a quick blink, so can always just spin that off. But the Warcry also quite good versus the Jug. It's kind of the issues support Sven is he's quite weak in lane, only has just the one stun, and then has to clarity up, doesn't really have a huge impact. He's melee, and also doesn't really scale so well as a support as the game goes later. So I kind of worry for the Sven if the early game doesn't go very, very well, but can run at the offlane quite well with the Darkseer once he gets a few levels. Good Ion Shell carrier as he is quite tanky early on with a lot of armor, a lot of HP, as well as the Warcry. So we'll have to see.
Theoretically, this could just be a really greedy draft, right? Send the Darkseer to the jungle, have the Sven in the off lane. But I feel like that would just leave Infamous with a very, very weak support response. I don't know.
I mean, if they pick another offlane here, then they're going to lose all their lanes, and this game's not going to be pretty, and then they putting like Luna, I don't know. The game becomes like real funky.
Yeah, that's a support Sven for sure.
Yep, so they do go for the Quap here. We'll see what Duop picks in return. I like this Viper ban. It's sort of a popular pick in NA right now, sort of a little bit of flavor of the month. But a lot of people play that hero. It's had some pretty decent success, at least as far as pubs go. A hero that's super obnoxious and does really well versus most mid heroes. Only a select few heroes that don't just get totally crushed by the Viper. So banning it out, and Infamous banning out the SF in return. The Quap being taken. There aren't too many mid heroes left in the pool. We'll see what they go for. The Magnus is still left. Pretty decent here. They do have a Juggernaut. They have a Weaver who can benefit from some extra physical damage. We'll see if they choose to go for that. Or okay, the Invoker.
Okay, nice, safe mid pick.
Yeah, they playing a Magnus whenever you just have one core or one big stunning core is not really what you want to do typically. Because they do have this Slaughter offlane, so it's not a hero that farms too well. They have the Weaver, so he can kind of scale, but you prefer something that has a little bit more control. Luna, a hero that you want to pressure super early on, and Magnus, not amazing at doing that. Typically likes to stay in lane until he's farmed his Echo Saber and his Blink Dagger, so understandable. They would want something a little more aggressive. The Invoker does better versus the Quap than the Magnus does as well, so overall, just a pretty good pick. You can purge off the Warcry as well with the Tornado, so sort of countering that a little bit.
So
gives them some better late game. Very, very good versus the Sven late game. Overall, just a good pick.
So it'd be safer to go Quas Wex, right? Since you've got a lot of damage output from the Juggernaut and the Weaver, right?
Quas Wex is basically the only build you can do this patch. Quas Exort has been nerfed so much; it's extremely weak. As you only have the one Fort Spirit until level 15, so you're basically just kind of useless. You just sit there and farm and throw Sunstrikes, but that's really your only fight contribution.
Miracle did it earlier, but that's
did
Miracle.
he? I thought he.
Or was it like a hybrid? I think he did like a hybrid thing actually.
I mean, you never go max Quas max Wex Exort. You always go typically 4 points in Quas, and then you can max out Wex. You can leave a couple points off and going into Exort afterwards. But you almost always start with this sort of a playing around the Tornado, EMP, Cold Snap in the early minutes. I mean, he's going for this. You can get 1 point in Exort very early on for the lane, or if you want Sunstrike to help out the kills a little bit, you could do that. But fully committing to like a 4-0-4 build is just sort of obsolete nowadays.
Well, there you go. You have it in writing. Your 8.2K. The 8.2K says that's how you should play Invoker now. I'm really interested in what Infamous are doing.
It looks like they want to go aggressive with this Sven, so don't want to put him in a position where he's just sort of sitting around, not a hero that's amazing at just rotating around and getting random kills. The Invoker will obviously have Ghost Walk, and is very fast with the Wex once he gets the boots up. So would have a hard time getting in range to stun him, especially without boots himself. and not really a way to set up a killer on the map. So it looks like they are going to be going for an aggro tri lane, trying to pressure this Juggernaut, as he's not the strongest here early, especially versus this Luna aura. Can make for some very strong lanes. So Duop not having any of that, and they're going to dodge and send the Slaughter up to the safe lane, while the Weaver scatters around and does his own thing.
Very safe. Yeah, I was confused at why they were showing their aggro tri lanes so early on. Like, do you think maybe they were intent on forcing the lane swap, or was that just a misplay?
I think they were TPing up to get a ward down, and then they happened to see each other because they both TP'd in the same place to get a ward down. It just happens sometimes. Duop realizing that they're TPing up here to ward, that means they're probably going for an aggro lane, and immediately rotating down to this bottom lane. But Infamous countering the Duop's ward, so a little bit less vision up here for Snaky, but should be
the
okay.
lift right into the stun. Disruptor might have to die here. Yeah, he drops to Shavi, which I think is Valkyria.
Yes, it's Valkyria.
Valkyria. Don't know
so
too
they
much
do leave
about
the Luna
Valkyria.
alone top for now. Does have the beam level 1, and he's gonna get punished pretty hard with the Slaughter and
Crushed.
Weaver getting shipped down.
Here's Buryu. I mean, he's
Have another
got
stun and one.
Oh, there we are. Slitherine Crush, another few last hits. The Fairy Fire not actually going to be saving him. And Buryu taking the kill there. We just have
Both of them
3.
live. Gonna have to use their salves, but not the biggest of deals. They do get the kill. With both the supports rotating back up the top, so a quick rotation down the bottom. They do get the first blood, but they sort of leave their Luna alone.
Oh, mid. We got the
Falls.
blink in. They're going on to 747. He doesn't have enough mana just yet. Now he has Ghost Walk. He actually
Oh, wow, it was very close.
gets out of the stun. Great work.
Yeah, he had a sentry on the Rubik too. Just didn't expect him to be able to get that off. And if he didn't get it off, then definitely would have died there. And does have the shrine still, so going to heal all the way back to full. A lot of wasted time there from Infamous, but this mid matchup going massively in Quap's favor so far. 7-11 to 1-1 on Invoker. So having a really good laning stage, and the Invoker suffering quite a bit as the wave was on his hill, even though he got harassed a little bit early on. Quap with massively superior damage early on until the Invoker gets up phase boots or what have you, and Invoker being forced to use his shrine early on as well. So the Quap looking really, really good right now. Almost, like 5 times Invoker CS currently. So a good start for Infamous in the mid lane at least.
Already has herself
Luna
the
is
bottle
suffering
coming
quite
out.
a bit.
Yeah, but the Quap's going to be there to help turn it around. Oh, actually, Sven helping to try to make some space for this Luna so she can get out. Yeah. XL,
yeah.
Excel, yeah, he's gonna pay the price there. I hate when people do not use their real names. Hashtag triggers the crap out of me. I'm just gonna call them by their nicknames. It's what
Welcome
they get.
to NA
That's the worst, man. That's, I think, one of the worst things about American Dota.
That's great, dude. It's flavor. You gotta learn all the people's nicknames they use and stuff. It's great.
Anyway, so actually, we might have an EMP. The Cold Snap. Yep, gonna be forcing the Quap. It's not gonna burn too much mana, as it is only level 1 Wex, but
As the Invoker 747 continues to just 2 CS, the Quap's 17 and 18. An
he's had
absolute
a rough
massacre.
time. His right click damage is just garbage right now, actually.
Yeah, he gets his self canceled as well.
Ugh. And Kataro's done such a great job at just, like, he'll trade missing CS at just the right time to make sure that the Invoker keeps staying behind no matter what.
Yeah, the Invoker level 3 about to hit 4, whereas the Quap 4 about to hit 5, so full level ahead. That was good to deny there, but Quap gonna bottle Crow now after shining up, so back to full HP and level 5, so the Invoker has to be careful. Or he has a chance of going down here if a lot of trading does go down. We'll see.
He does have enough mana in case he needs to Ghost Walk, but yeah, Swap.
Structure driving by, helping out a little bit, getting some harassing. Able to clean up a couple more CS here and there, but mid lane definitely going very well for Infamous.
Denies. I think that's one of the biggest problems with the Quas Wex Invoker. He hits like a limp noodle.
Yeah, we'll have the phase boots up for too long, so that should help him out. And the rest of his lanes are doing so well that it's not the biggest deal in the world. Sneaking up to 21 CS, you are at 25. Juggernaut, one of the best carries in the game versus the Darkseer. So, because of that healing ward, it's just almost impossible to push him off the lane. He does have the headdress now as well, so just a whole lot of HP
top.
regen.
Mania getting the telekinesis there. Buryu falling low, actually, but the Luna will get the kill onto that support Weaver.
Yeah, they are all out of mana though in this top lane, and the Shrine is on cooldown as well, so Sven's gonna have to go all the way back to base, and maybe come back up to top or go for something else. Disruptor back to mid to help out 747, as this lane is just irrecoverable at this point, unless he has teammates come in and help him. So it's gonna help him out a little bit, get a couple of creeps free because of the Disruptor.
A solo smoke on Buryu to get a high ground ward. I don't think the Quap saw that. Yeah, it doesn't look like he saw that.
Yep, so I think, you know, Duop not crazy about the way the mid lane is going, but the rest of the lanes, they are okay with. The Juggernaut farming quite well. This Darkseer may actually go down bottom. He's getting spun on and has enough mana for the Omni Slash.
Getting some right clicks. No surge yet. Actually got it just in time. The juke's around the tree. Oh, man.
Okay, he's dead. He has no boots, and Yor has boots, unless he super jukes him.
I mean, he could. Oh my god! Oh, Peru outplaying. Oh no.
Yeah, not the biggest deal in the world though. The Darkseer is gonna have to walk all the way back to base, so his tower's gonna take a lot of damage. You can see him pinging the tower. He doesn't want this tower to take all that damage from these creeps, but they don't really have a hero in the position to do that. Rubik having no TP as.
Oh, they get the stun onto the Weaver, and he's right near a sentry. He falls to the Luna. Now it's looking like Sven and Luna, yeah, trying to pursue. Slitherine Crush is going to stop the Luna. They actually had an... Oh, the Slardar was just out of range for another Stormhammer there.
Yeah. Already the amp damage online on the Slardar, so starting to put it on these heroes, and you may see Quap rotate up to this top lane in a bit to try and get a kill in this lane. As Duop is getting pretty aggressive, and if they overextend even just a little bit, then Quap can always TP up, has almost full mana, so I can go up there and try and use that Sonic Wave as early as possible. You really want to... You'll see that he really wants to get this all used as soon as possible.
Oh, the Stormhammer catching both out on the top lane. Snake King being forced back. And this is forcing a rotation from the Invoker. He does have a Tornado available if need be, but... Buryu Shikuchiing in. The Tornado gonna catch the Luna. Here's the EMP as well. And this Cold Snap, 747 actually diving a little deep. Slardar gonna be taking the Stormhammer there. I think the Sven could have gotten a kill on 747. Oh, during all of this, how did he get him? Oh, he wrapped around back. Oh, Buryu with the plays.
Yep, gets a nice kill there. Has the bottle, so he's gonna pick up the bounty rune. Should have enough mana.
And he's gonna find a courier. Oh, he doesn't even go for it.
It doesn't want to show himself. He can hunt it down.
Glimpse back to help the Quap get away. She's got a bug on her.
Actually, should be fine. Needed 2-3 more right clicks. The Tornado. Oh, that was really close.
That would have got her if he had maybe what, another level, 2 levels, I think.
Yeah, it would have taken a little bit to reach him there, but does barely live there. So Kotaro continuing to snowball quite a bit. Juggernaut still having a very good game with the lanes. Pretty stagnant at this point. Not too many rotations going down. The supports just coming continually back up to this top lane. A lot of brawling, but I would say the real breadwinner so far is either the Juggernaut or the Squad, both having very good games so far, and it kind of
bottom lane to get the crush onto the Darkseer. They're glimpsing him back into the kinetic field. He does drop the wall, but the Blade Fury is going to help chop him down. And now Duop are going to farm these illusions. Nice. During all of that.
They,
Oh, you go on. It's fine. I thought there was a fight top, but no.
Oh, he crushed him right whenever he surged. It was really close to him getting away, but just barely lives there because of that. The super nice crush just got it off just barely in time, then glimpsed him back. So they get a kill there, and just continuing to farm up on the Juggernaut, gonna have HOD pretty soon. But yeah, overall just a nice rotation there, and Quap continuing to bully mid, having a very good game.
Ooh, they do get the tornado cold snap, but the Quap blinking out, glimpsed right back in, and now she has no way of getting out just yet. Oh, Scream of Pain's not gonna take anyone down.
Yeah, and sort of what we talked about, the supports of Infamous, they're very good in this first couple of minutes. They can, set up a lot of kills with this Luna. It's a very, very strong lane, but as just a little bit of time goes on, you can sort of feel them to start to fall off, where these duo-up supports can do much more in this mid-game stage. You have Disruptor. It's extremely good versus Quap, and so even though this Quap is having a good start in the game, it's going to be very, very difficult for her. As Disruptor, one of the best heroes in the game versus her, makes it extremely hard for her to farm, as you can always get picked off. Forces you to go BKB almost definitely, and not really an item that Quap wants to go. Makes your item build quite weird, so duo-up support heroes just much more useful as this game goes on than Infamous's heroes, even though they do have this Darkseer hero that enables maybe some wombo combo with the Sven stun. If that doesn't hit, then they do have to worry about the usefulness of these supports as the game ticks on, I think.
I mean, on the bright side for Infamous, they do have a Sven who can kind of transfer into a, pseudo core role. If he builds right, he can hit decently hard. But yeah, they are going to be punished pretty hard. Ooh, mid, we got glimpsed back into a Slitherine Crush. The Rubik just getting ripped apart here. Tornado's going to help take him down. It actually catches the TPing in Sven. Stormhammer onto the Slardar, but there's the EMP. Can't do much else if you don't have any mana. All the mana's gone, so there's no Sonic Wave available just yet. The Quap trying to bottle up just to get some mana. Snake King actually getting her in the crush. Oh my god, that's a 3 for 0 going the way of Doo-Wop. This has helped 747 get back into this, almost at the Midas recipe.
Yeah, and just like that, some nice rotations. And, you can see it now. The Sven, the Rubik, not really having the greatest of impacts. They just sort of get massacred by these heroes that really are adept at punishing squishy heroes. Slaughter, Disruptor, Juggernaut. Even the Invoker, just a lot of damage, a lot of spells that really, really punish these squishy supports. So, getting quite a few kills mid, and just like that, the Invoker all the way caught up to the Quap. And taking this tower down bottom, the Jug immediately TPing back up the top to defend the tower with the HOD now, so maybe looking to take this top tower before too long as well. At the very least, they do have the mech on this Darkseer. Only level 8 though, so while he does have the mech and obviously the max level Ion Shell, which can be very strong, he doesn't really have a great hero to run in and Ion Shell people. He has the Sven, but he's just a support, so it's not the super mobile core that you like to see with the Ion Shell. It's not the Slark or the Juggernaut or the Weaver that just sort of run in with this Ion Shell and do a whole lot of damage. So while he is quite farmed, has the mech at a pretty decent timing.
He didn't even have boots. Not until just now. Oh, they get the lift. Yep, Yarwar's gonna get out of there though. Nothing's gonna come of that, but that's a Blade Fury. Pretty valuable, I'd say. Probably one of the better pickups at this point. Just being able to be spell immune. It does a lot of damage considering everyone's still squishy. Oh, the glimpse back. They catch out the Sven. He's in that. Oh yeah, he's gonna be gunned down. Now
very nice EP tornado.
The tornado catching out so much. Snake King manning up. Down falls the Luna. And that Sonic Wave was actually really, really good there. Does take down the Invoker, but Doo-Wop will take the cake and clear out. Triple kill for Yawar. That's painful. You're gonna let this Juggernaut really start to snowball.
Yeah, a 5 for 1, and now they can take this tier 1 top afterwards, with mid farm being free as well, so the Invoker can TP back there whenever he spawns to continue to farm up. Has the Midas recipe like you talked about, and only 25 gold from the Gloves of Haste, but it looks like Infamous isn't willing to give this tower up for free, and coming back up here.
Oh, the crush. They grab the Luna. This is not the time that you want to fight. There wasn't even any Eclipse up. She's trying to fight. We'll take the Slardar down. There's a good little vacuum there. The support Sven with the God Strength trying to man up. The glimpse back on that Darkseer. There's a lot of the control gone. We do have the Stormhammer available, but the Sven just getting kited. He has no maneuverability. During all of this, though, Kataro will fight and take down that Juggernaut. Chasing him.
Yep. Looks like Buryu will go down as well, so having a nice sentry on the Sven.
Oh, and the Disruptor. That haste rune.
Making great use of the haste rune and picking up a couple kills on the back end. So Duop getting a little bit over aggressive, pushing behind that tower maybe when not needed to. At the very least, they do get the tower down.
Oh, they get the crush. Here's an EMP as well. She does blink out though before the EMP goes, but they grab her in the tornado and another crush very soon. Not even needed. 747 just gonna casually right-click down the co-op.
Yep. Knocking her down a few pegs, and now, after what was an amazing start, miles above everyone else in net worth, slowly working on that Orchid. But even when she has it, unless they're getting an amazing jump every single fight, then Squap is going to have an extremely hard time staying alive, as they just have so many ways to take her down, even if she's very, very farmed.
They find BO2 top. He actually busts the time-lapse a little early. It's just Shikuchiing around. Look at all this space he's creating. 3 heroes being dedicated to try to get this support Weaver.
Very
they do
nice
catch
play
him under
from
the sentry
there.
Yeah, they get the Stormhammer.
Yeah, putting the sentry down right outside of the only point they knew he could leave from, and him just standing there waiting for him to Shikuchi out and pulling them immediately back. Really, really nice play from Rubik there, making sure they get that kill. If he was anywhere else, he would have lived.
But they do get the Luna. She gets the Lucent Beam off, but shredded by the Juggernaut. He hits
and this
really
Luna's
hard.
net worth at this point is very worrying. Only at 4k net worth compared to the Jug's 8k. It's almost getting doubled up at this point. Jug already with the HOD and the Yasha working on the Manta now. Has a Centaur creep falling around, so extra speedy, along with the Yasha and phase boot movement speed. And you know, like we said, they just have so much kill potential in Duop. And unless Infamous is very far ahead or in a super aggressive position, then they can just get melted all over the map non-stop. So you really, really have to worry about Infamous's position right now. As you are even just solo pressuring the Svanner tower, Luna TPing in, you gotta try and farm here, but I don't know how long he can stay here before the Slaughter comes back down and they try and kill him again, which seems to be right about now. As Snake King coming in, has some wand charges, and should be able to try and stun this Luna, forcing them off the tower.
Here's BO2 to push back the rest of Infamous. Does get Lucent beamed, but you look at all this space. I mean, Juggernaut's just sitting there. Yep, just Blade Fury takes down the tower, can get back. Sure, it costs them a support Weaver, but that's 17-minute tier 2. And now, he's back. Buyback, time-lapse in. They do get the dust on him, though, without the rest of his team there. That was, felt like a rage buyback, but they take down the co-op as well. Yawar.
Yeah, she was invis in the backlines scouting for a play to make, but may have used her Orchid and then just got immediately crushed by the Slaughter and bursted down. But just all the physical damage with the Amp, Jug, Invoker, and the Slaughter. Just so much right-click damage.
Ooh.
And you can just feel how much the momentum is in favor of Duop right now. Able to just pressure all around the map, making some extremely aggressive plays, maybe even getting a little too aggressive at times. But still, not really getting punished for it that much, as you are continuing to top the network charts. Quap not far behind, but like we said, a game where Quap is really going to have a hard time having a big impact, even if she is very, very farms. The Invoker going for the Yules now as well, so this Orchid going to be completely negated once he has that. Going to be even more kiting power for this Luna, some more disables. Just continue to keep themselves alive, and as long as they aren't getting bursted immediately or caught in some massive Darkseer Wombo combo, it should be very easy for Duop to take these fights.
And though the scores do look really similar, you know, it's just 5 kills off, not that bad. Ooh, Juggernaut going to be taking a nice little stack here. On the side of Duop, 10 of the deaths are just from the supports. Whereas for Infamous, the Luna has died 5 times on her own. The Quap has died 5 times. Like, the kills that have been had by each team are in vastly different areas of importance.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely kind of worrying for Infamous, and the buybacks on both the supports and the last fight were good for Infamous, showing the keeping Duop supports down a little bit, or I guess them keeping themselves down. So it's a little bit of a glimmer of hope. The Sven has the drums now as well, so has a reasonable amount of farm for support Sven, but this Rubik is really, really suffering. So he's gonna have a hard time having a big impact in these fights. He's really gonna have the mana pool to be stealing a bunch of spells and getting them off. Invoker's spells have a reasonably high mana cost, so may have some issues. Speaking of Invoker, does shove in the spot lane and TP out, and now they see almost all of Infamous's heroes with this nice deep ward they have in their jungle. So seeing some of these heroes rotating on the bottom as they look like they're gonna smoke up with the Invoker and run out of bottom and try and make a play after they defend this mid tower. With another huge deep ward, just all over the place, and they see the smoke.
Oh man! Doo-wop catch the entire smoke.
They're gonna bait the Invoker. They're all behind him. If they do try and jump in and kill him, then can immediately counter with the Crush and the Static Storm. We'll see if Infamous goes for it. If they try and move up to this top line and be, you know, predicting someone to be there. If they go for a Roshan, we'll have to see. But
they're looking like they want to
worrisome.
take the bait. Yeah, it's a little too obvious at this point. Infamous.
Roshan
instead.
randomly moving out of the pit, but thankfully, Doo-wop not with any wards out of here. Wards on the side of the map, and Infamous going for sort of a desperation play, gonna try and sneak this Roshan. I don't think Doo-wop realized at this point in time. They don't do it super quickly, but they should have enough time as Sven's God Strength actually putting in some work on the support Sven, so a decent pick-me-up for Infamous.
Yep. Doo-wop, no, they're coming in, but it's gonna be a little too late as the Aegis will drop, go down onto the Queen of Pain. Now she's kind of scary because she can jump in, she can get, you know, her Scream of Pain off, and even if she drops before she hits that Sonic Wave, I mean, she'll come back, right? And then she's got an Orchid to work with. It's a lot of control. Do you know what the particular reason for just making sure first item Orchid on the Quap?
In games like this where they have just so many ways to kill you, going for defensive item first isn't really viable, because if you go one defensive item, you're still gonna die almost instantly in a crush.
Hold that thought. They bring her back. She's stuck. They're hanging her high. But oh, the good vacuum wall there, grabbing almost all of Doo-wop. We do have the Deafening Blast pushing back. The Aegis has been popped on the Quap, and she's here. She still has that Sonic Wave if needed.
They denied the slaughter as well, so not even getting any gold from that kill.
Oh my god.
Looks like he may go down a nice static field, and yeah, Infamous getting no gold out of that. They do get the tower at the very least and pressuring this tier 2 now, but with the EMP Tornado, they're going to try and slow this push down, but it may actually drop the tower, but you are still pushing top, so it looks like it may end up being a tier 2 for tier 2 trade. Not the worst in what for Infamous.
Oh, they hang up the Invoker though, tear him apart very quickly, and now they can take this tower as a team without much fear of a tornado or something coming their way. But during all that, like you said, the Juggernaut took a tower all by himself. The Quap's catching up to the Juggernaut in farm. She's up there. Fighting the Weaver. Oh man, annihilates him.
Yeah, blows him up with the Sonic Wave. You do kind of have to worry though, because this Queen of Pain just at any point in the entire game can die to a crush, and any of the other cores being there, so...
Talk about dying to a crush. They grab the Sven. Ooh, Omni's been popped. The Jug getting out of there. They get the silence. Not much else is going to be going on.
Yeah. Does almost have the Maelstrom on the Juggernaut as well, so going to speed up his farming pace a considerable amount, going to continue to try and keep himself in the lead net worth wise. And Infamous, while they don't look that bad in the net worth department, they just have some serious issues trying to take these fights. Unless they get an amazing vacuum wall or they're catching someone massively out of position, then Doo-wop can always jump in and out with the Slaughter, the Invoker controlling people, and you know, they really just have to be very, very careful.
Oh, they get the crush onto the Quap. Yep, she's dead. They got her in that Static Storm. She hung around there a little too long. Meanwhile, though, the EMP... Oh, here's that Eclipse. Oh, Punky throwing out the right clicks. This Invoker dude, he's making so much space, though. Just wrapping around, and now we've got this healing ward up. It's going to be hard taking down Doo-wop before that thing drops. Okay, they take it down pretty quick. Pretty smart. Snaking, though, keeping the Luna trapped. We get the glimpse back. And the Shavi's out of there. That would be Valkyra.
Yep.
Trying my best, dude. I'm trying my best. Ugh.
Yeah, it's not easy.
That like
yeah,
or there's like a small little process. You see their nickname, then you gotta be like, okay, that's this position, so that'll be this dude. It slows down casting so much.
Yeah, the 747 ran right into the middle of the fight after he used his EMP Tornado Cold Snap and put a really, really well placed Ice Wall. Quap actually using her BKB.
Wait.
The Solo Weaver forcing it out. Looks like he's a little bit triggered, drops it on the ground, picks it back up, doing Kotaro things, but first charge of that BKB already going to use.
Oh my god, Peru Dota. Was it in the wrong slot? Do you think he meant to Orchid and hit BKB?
Yeah, he did actually move it afterwards. He meant to trade switch, I think. It was in the wrong slot.
Oh, no. Oh, that's one of those things, man. You'll be, like, on tilt for the rest of the game after that. Constantly looking to make sure your items are in the right slots.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. Tried to switch to int. So he had the extra attack speed to click down the bugs, but instead accidentally pops his BKB and do up. No, it's down for a little bit more time, so gonna get aggressive, gonna get a pick off on this Rubik. Now, maybe gonna look to take down these shrines while they have the Rubik did. And they can feel how strong they are. The Invoker working up towards this Ags now as well, so gonna continue to improve his kiting power as this Luna really wants to just keep farming up, wants the Manta, wants the BKB on top of that, and then maybe she can look to take some fights, but until then, just is so weak, doesn't really do that much damage, and is very, very easy to pressure as the Shrine goes down.
And this Juggernaut is so far ahead of her that, like, Doo-Wop, they can get away with just not, like, this unrelenting brutality. But they get the Invoker right in the middle of it. That's a lot of control for Doo-Wop. Looking like they want to try to reset this fight if they can. We do get that Static Storm out, though, but no kinetic field there. Where are you time-lapsing in, getting out of there if you can. They're taking it to their shrine.
Yeah,
Oh,
the Weaver will go down. So, a 2-for-1 trade. Pretty good for Infamous. The Invoker just getting slightly caught out and going down. But healing back up by the shrine, they may try and take this fight as this sort of hanging around a little bit. But they'll think better, play it safe, and finish up some of their items. The Slaughter almost has BKB. You are almost finishing up the Mjolnir, so a couple big items going to increase their damage and their survivability, but quite a bit. As these fights going quite a bit back and forth. Infamous still looking like they're definitely in this game as they're about to complete the Manta as well in the Luna. Gonna go back and push some of these lanes out and should have it in just a minute.
Yeah, Doo-Wop were totally fine with this exchange because now their entire top lane's pushing in. They're doing a good chunk of damage onto this tower, just keeping Infamous busy. I mean, that was about 300 damage right there to the tower, just because of creeps.
Yep, so nice chip damage on the tower for the next time they try and push, speed it up just a little bit. Luna just about to finish up her mana, just needs a couple hundred gold. Invoker about to finish up his Aghanims as well, so 200 gold there. A lot of big items about to get picked up on Doo-Wop and a couple on Infamous, so both teams may be looking to take fights in the near future as they're hitting a couple key item timings, but this Luna still really doesn't want to fight until she has BKB or even more items as the game goes later and later. Infamous sort of have some weird timings as they have some heroes that can be really strong in the mid game. Darkseer, you know, they have some stuns in the Rubik and the Sven, but not amazing at fighting right now as both their cores really have a hard time staying alive versus the massive physical damage power of the Jug and Slaughter, as well as the kiting for the Invoker.
And then, like, speaking of this Jug, he is so comfortable with just pushing it lane all by himself. Like, all he has to do, Blade Fury TP. There's no catch for him at this point. So,
yep, there he goes.
Yeah, he just draws the entire team of Infamous because this is how Infamous have to move around the map. They have to be 5-man. And he's just making so much space for the rest of his team to catch up.
Yep, just continuing to farm up. Aghanim's completed now on Invoker. We're going to work towards the Lincoln's next, so going to stop him from getting that Sven stun or getting Orchided. Going to be quite useful in keeping him alive, and that's sort of the name of the game for Doo-Wop for these fights. Just make sure you don't get bursted by their initial vacuum wombo combo. Last the fight out, get some stuns in, and then slowly kill these heroes with the Juggernaut chopping away. Having massive attack speed, these super farms up to 16k net worth. Only 1 death, 10-1 and 4. You are having a really good showing. And the Invoker slowly building up some net worth as well. So Doo-Wop is gonna continue to just kite them around the map and farm up on some of these heroes. They're still looking for things with the Slaughters. They just have the BKB, so they're very willing to fight right now. It's just sort of hard to find Infamous as they do have the Luna, they have Quap, they have Darkseer, all heroes that are pretty good at getting these lanes out. So both teams not super opposed looking for an engagement, but both teams wanting to take it on their terms.
There's definitely that calm before the storm feeling. They're waiting for the standoff there's a standoff and they're waiting for the engagement that will benefit each team. So It's only a matter of time before they converge. There's always like that rest period in the action-packed games where beginning be tons of fighting and then it just everyone catches their breath for a second. Oh, Yawar looking like he wanted to take down the Rubik, but letting him get away. And Buryu just waiting here for Roche. Like, he's not even going to do anything else with his time. Just sit here. They know it'll be up sometime soon.
Yep, that's it's a huge contestant point for this team, for this game. As Duop can take it extremely easily. They didn't get the first one. As Infamous smoked in very well and cleaned that up. So Quap actually getting a Shivas now, so has the BKB, has a lot of armor, so going to be a little bit harder to take down. Not quite as squishy, but still dies within a crushed Omni Slash. Needs to be very careful. But continuing to build up items, as Infamous is keeping on track with Duop. Darkseer has going for the Crimson Guard, has the Guardian Greaves as well, so building up their physical tank ability. With the Warcry, they actually may be able to survive the physical onslaught from Duop. We'll have to see, as both teams sort of grouping up, playing around this Roche pit. Maybe another Mexican standoff like we've had in the past couple of games. So
Peruvian standoff. So at what point does this Quap, I mean, I know it's not written in stone that you get the Blade Mail. I know it's borderline written in stone that you get the spell Lifesteal though, but would that, nope. Looks like Kataro here doesn't care about the Blade Mail Lifesteal. Would that have been a valuable pickup earlier on, say after the Orchid? Or was the BKB something that was just so necessary to rush?
yeah, he just had to go for the BKB, otherwise he can always get Glimpse back, always get Disruptor ultied, and he'll die no matter what, so you know, he really wants to stay alive. He'll also die in so few hits that the Blade Mail doesn't really do that much if he does end up getting crushed, so he's going to go for more damage than Mjolnir, realizing that they can burst them down very quickly. The Mjolnir will give them some better lane push as well, helps the Quap scale. Whenever he does get to that spell lifesteal point, the Mjolnir procs will heal with spell steal, so not the worst thing in the world in that regard. And overall, it's just very good damage as they want to scale as this game goes later and later. Luna Quap are definitely not cores to cores that you can be afraid of if they do get a lot of items. Luna is going for the butterfly next, has 3k gold, it's almost that Eagle song up.
Oh, they get him! They jump in, get the Storm Hammer, and no Tornado connecting there, actually. Sven being helped to get out by the Disruptor. But the Shrine's still taken. And now Roche is going to be taken. I don't think Infamous can really contest this. Mostly because Yawar hits like a freaking... like a jackhammer. He's just so fast, but... even if they were there at the right time, I don't particularly think they'd have much they could do to contest it, except maybe a good vacuum wall.
Yeah, they really needed to be set up to be able to take that fight, and it's just super hard because they are just getting all their lanes pushed in. They had to go and respond to those, and they tried to catch OR, and he goes up and got strengths, blink stuns, but not really getting the kill. And so with that being down, Duop knowing exactly where all of them are, and the Roshan going down in 5 seconds, just didn't really have the opportunity to take that fight. But the Scotty almost complete now as well on the Jug, so going to be even harder to take down. And also going to be able to kite this Sven and Luna, actually stay on top of the Luna, so being able to chase her down. And just in general, being very tanky, so hard to get bursted down by this Quap ult, the Sven stun, and all this burst damage. So if you can eliminate a lot of that, then we'll be definitely a force to be reckoned with the Aegis as well. Duop looking like they want to push down and take a fight somewhere. It's kind of hard to just directly force the high ground, but with this double damage and almost a Scotty finished on Jug, they may actually look to just walk down mid and try and take these buildings. We'll have to see.
So Duop have given Infamous a lot of space to just farm back up, and this Luna just about at that the butterfly is that, you know, is that timing part of their end goal, or was it just as a team they couldn't clinch pulling off the victory? I feel like at this point they were just waiting for the next Roche so that they could, you know, 5-man and take racks.
Yeah, wanting to play it safe rather than sorry. They know that their catch as the game goes later and later is much better. Eventually, this Juggernaut will get an Abyssal Blade as well, so we'll have an extra stun there. Maybe even go for the Blink. They're okay with the game going late as well because the Weaver is going to get more items.
Oh my
Kotar
god.
Blinks into the Juggernaut, gets Omni/down, and they know that they just have more cores than Infamous does. Weaver can scale. The Aghanim's is going to be super useful there. The Invoker is going to scale really well late game. The Slaughter Crush. You know, the Slaughter actually going for a Midas this game and getting a lot of space snap. Not normally something you see from a Slaughter, but has the AC as well as the BKB now on top of the Midas and the Blink. So he does a lot of right-click damage and can actually scale going for the damage talent instead of the armor. And has that bash chance one at 25 with all his attack speed. So
Doo-Wop smoking up behind the Juggernaut. Just gonna let him push. He's got that Aegis, so... Oh, he Manta dodges the stun. Great job. Blink in with Snake King, popping that BKB, being able to just fight in behind the lines. They take down the Luna very quick. There's no buyback on that Quat, by the way, so she is not a part of this fight. Deafening Blast, pushing everyone back. The Luna, though, she does come back during all of this. Yawar slicing down the tower like it's cheese. Ooh, there we are. The Eclipse doing some good work. Snake King getting out of there if he can. There's the meatball. It's time for the pizza pie. The Luna getting pushed back. Oh, she's glimpsed right in the middle of Doo-Wop. She gets crushed. This might be the end. Ashavi, he's surprisingly tanky, but he too falls to 747. And this is another tower, another line of racks. Kataro's by himself.
Yeah, the support Sven in the end not really paying off too well. Having some decent impact in the laning stage, getting a couple kills, and Kataro playing the lane extremely well. Really just massacring this Invoker, but not giving up any kills to the Quap and killing her a couple of times, eventually getting to the point where they're just constantly picking her off, and now...
The bashes are so strong on this Slardar. There's the GG. I wonder if they can get Megas before the game's over. Megas! And a Dota right there.
Yeah, Doo-Wop just sort of outplaying them all around the map, outmaneuvering them, finding several good fights non-stop, and overextending a couple of times and sort of giving Infamous a way back into this game, but they calmed down, they waited for this next Roshan, took a Roche, got a couple of pickoffs, and then just went high ground with that. So Doo-Wop sticking to their game plan quite well after a couple of missteps and taking a pretty clean victory over Infamous. I would say the Sven support didn't really work out so well. It was sort of a niche pick and gave them a lot of kill potential in this lane, but never really came to fruition as the game went later, as we sort of feared.
That's very true. Also, the Rubik, I think the Sven pick just made the Rubik so incredibly poor that he, like, throughout most of the game, he was just easy pickings, too squishy, barely maneuverable. He got his blink crazy late. He just... Yeah, that Sven pick really messed things up, I think. And then the Luna never being able to get off the ground. Always being on the back foot. Anyway, do you have any final thoughts before we close this out and get ready for the next game?
Not really, just looking forward to it. Some more anecdotes.
Okay, well, thank you guys for watching. Stick around for Game 2. I was your caster, VTM. You can follow me on Twitter at VTMDota, and our analyst for this game was CCNC. You can follow him on Twitter at CCNCDota2. Catch you guys very, very shortly.